the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of Java or espresso. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Tina Valentina is the host, you see. She's as classy as she can be. The co-host Greg has a lot to say. Well, he wouldn't have it any other way. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. I say rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Another cup of Java or espresso. Another cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show.
What do you mean about a little off where? She's married to Tom.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, April 11th, and the sun was shining this morning. It's not now, but I have great guests here today. I am raining men today on the show.
Wait a
It's
minute. You're the songwriter.
raining men today, okay? So first I want to introduce Lou Mastantuono. Did I say it right?
That's just did Mastantuono. That's correct.
He is an actor, a producer. He's on screens, in films, everything. And he's in a film with Rocky.
No.
What is it?
I'm on a series with Sylvester
Okay.
Stallone called Tulsa King.
Tulsa King.
Right, which I play his brother.
Shit, that's unreal.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk
We're going
about
to
it.
talk about that. There's a
Yes.
whole journey with that. It's,
All right. And then, before I introduce my buddy here,
Yeah.
here we have a Rocky fan. And he's amazing, too. And I can't believe he's back. And why don't you say a few words? John Messina. He's in a documentary. He's on number 3.
On number 3, called Fight Story for Amazon Prime. It has everything to do with Rocky and Sylvester Stallone and the inspiration people drew from that series. And I guess we'll get a little bit deeper into it in a moment.
And who do I have today helping me with my co-host? On the Fontanas, he's my son.
That's right.
In the studio, he teaches me how to be an actress. He's also Jerry
We have a date
Ferretti.
tonight?
We have a date tonight. We're going to a fundraiser. Jerry Ferretti, he is everything to a lot of people. And he has a band. And welcome, Jerry.
Thank you, and I'm a huge Rocky fan, so this is an honor to be on this panel.
Unbelievable
too.
day,
It
really. So, first thing that we usually do is we talk about what today is, a national day. Today is National Pet Day.
What is
So,
it?
a pet.
Oh, pet.
So if you have a pet, hug him,
Where
kiss
is she?
him. Listen, it could be the pet could be a woman or a man too, but I would assume it's a dog. I'm not a dog lover, so I don't kiss dogs, and I don't even touch dogs because I'm allergic. But everyone in my family has a dog. And when I go to my daughter's, they give the dog Xanax because the dog hates me. So that's my dog story for the day.
You the Xanax.
I don't need the Xanax. Are you kidding? So today, be nice to your dog, all right?
Absolutely.
And I'd like Jerry to kind of take over a little today because we have things to do tonight. I got to stay up for
Okay.
tonight. So
Well,
let's talk to Lou.
yeah. Let's start with Lou. Why don't you tell us about? I mean, you're playing his brother in Tulsa King.
Yes, play Joe Manfredi, his brother. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, that's the whole series.
Well, I don't want to give away, but I have an illness, if you recall, and but it was really a dream come true to be there with him. And if you got another 20 minutes, I can go in, but I'll give a brief.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take you back to 1976, and I was married. I had a 5-month-old, and when you're married, you don't get out that much.
No, that's
And I lived
true.
a different life, not the entertainment world at that point. But we went out to see this small movie called Rocky. And it left such an impression. That night, I'm getting back, I'm just laying there in bed, and I'm just thinking, wow, that was some story. It really moved me. And not many, I'm an emotional guy. I mean, usually I can cry on, which I probably might do it tonight, But it kind of moved me. And so the next day, that was November 21st. Next day was Thanksgiving. So I, at the time, lived in the 5 towns. And I went for a run, a jog back, and all of a sudden it just hit me. Now, it just hit me. And I said, wait a minute, I have a story. And it's my father's story, which we hopefully will get it based on the book
Dad, your book is on the end.
Right.
Can you pass that
Eternally
over?
Rose.
Yeah, let's look at
right
it.
here. And,
Look at that. Eternally Rose. Wow.
yeah. And so what led me down the path, I pursued it, and a few years later, I went through some changes and got into the music business, and one thing led to another, and for somehow my path, my career always seemed to cross first the music. I wrote a song called Better Than One that was intended for Rocky. It was intended actually for another movie, for the Barbarian Brothers, called Better Than One, but they never used it. They never got it made. So I had a song that I wrote, and one thing led to another, and it got into the hands of the producers of Rocky, Erwin Winkler and Bob Schadoff. And lo and behold, I was told, wow, this could be the next Eye of the Tiger.
Wow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, through 12 months of anxiety, getting ready to really move along with it, they decided to go in another path and use the song Snap by the group Snap. Everybody dance now. Boom,
Right.
boom.
I like that.
Well,
song,
let me
but-
tell you, at that point, I was like, my agent said, I'm so sorry. I said, you're sorry? Yeah, so am I. But you know what? You move forward.
Yeah, well, you have to.
Now, going even further, keep pursuing. And I got more into the film, more into the acting, the stage. I produced a Broadway show, the whole 9 yards over the years. And I had this opportunity recently, in the last couple of years, about 2 years ago this time, I get a call from my agent. You're up for, okay. And next thing you know it, 2 months later, I found myself on set talking to Sly.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there,
Isn't that amazing?
and I can't get almost,
He's gonna cry.
yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna cry too.
it was so emotional. But I had to keep my cool.
Yeah.
In the scene, if you remember, I died. But they will bring me back. I'm told. They told me that day on set, you are coming back and do the flashbacks and all that thing.
Right.
Because it does, to introduce my character in 2 episodes cost $20 million altogether. Doesn't make any sense. So they explained to me, you were going to, I said, I just keep my fingers crossed because they just started shooting now the series as of last week. So here I am, and I'm hoping that I get the call. But anyway, so here I am on set, and I said, look at this. This is like, here I am with the guy who inspired me in 1976.
wild.
He has inspired so many
That's right.
people with that film
Right.
from 1976.
And I wanted him, and I so bad, and I said, my time is going to come. I know he got the book. It was handed to him by one of the producers.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went back the second week, Joe, the writer, Joe Riccoboni, came up to me and told me, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that'd be great, So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the next step of this next journey. And but it all comes down to, this perseverance and
Yeah.
desire and never give up. Because I always say, without dreams, what the hell you have?
True.
And you're living proof of all the people that say it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
And let me
And-
tell you, people thought I was nuts. People think I am nuts, but you know what? They can think all they want.
Right.
And that's what I tell. I don't care how old you are, until your last breath. If you have something you believe in with passion, you go ahead and you do it.
Well, I believe that too.
I
But
don't care if you go
sometimes
broke.
you-
You do it because you know
Absolutely.
what? I do believe with faith it will happen,
Yeah.
and that's basically in a abbreviated
Yes,
version.
but your family sometimes makes you feel inadequate, like you're crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Am
often
I
those
right?
closest to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just, it's remarkable. I mean, we all have our days in the real world,
yeah.
you know, and you say stop. But you know what? I've been blessed.
Well, you have a great attitude. I told you before. I think you're great.
And now the way you two are connected
Yeah.
along the same lines of that inspiration.
Yeah,
that-
and it's funny. About 2 years ago, and I had the manuscript of the book, and I used to go to his sister. She'd make copies for me. She'd give me a break.
His
She went through
sister.
300 pages, and we just. She was, "How you doing with the series?" I said, "Hello, I'm waiting to go back. Oh my God, I can't wait." She was, "I love the series." I said, "You and a lot of other people." You know,
Yeah.
just now I'm just.
So they resumed season 2.
Oh, they
now.
started
They're
actually
filming.
finally.
They just
Yeah,
started. Yeah.
because
I started last week, so.
So you'll be going to California for that?
No, well, actually, I found out they're going to be shooting in Tulsa and Atlanta.
Oh, so you'll
They'll probably do
travel.
the exteriors in I could be wrong. Exteriors in Tulsa and the
Makes sense.
studio in Atlanta.
Where'd
so.
you shoot for the?
Oklahoma City.
Okay,
Yeah, it was.
that must have been a lot of fun.
Oh.
And I got to cry when I saw Mickey Mantle's statue in front of the stadium because that's where he's from, Congers, Oklahoma. And I sat there and I'll never forget it. There was a hot day in Oklahoma. And a beautiful little black lady. She says to me, "What's the matter, honey? Why are you crying?"
Oh,
And I said, "You have to understand, that's my idol.
Right.
yeah.
That's my sports idol."
Yeah.
I said that I,
That's
and
unbelievable.
I just, but Oklahoma, I only have fond things, and I hope to take a road trip there with my buddy Freddie Pagano.
Wow.
when I'm
Freddie,
there.
thanks for coming.
So yeah, so this is where I'm just keep my fingers crossed. I said my prayers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a great story. I think everybody feels that way in this industry that they've
Absolutely.
got. It's going to happen.
Right.
And you're living proof. I mean, for everybody out there that, and I mean, we know a lot of actors, we know a lot of writers, we know a lot of creative people that are all saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen, and you've been holding on to this dream for a long time. Would you say this is the greatest moment in your? I mean, you've said you
In my-
produced Broadway.
Yeah, I did a
so
Broadway
something
show
like this, is it-
years back called Squonk, which to me was the easiest thing to raise money. I always say it's the hardest thing to get money for a
Really?
Broadway show. And I was doing an off-Broadway show downtown, and one of the producers came up to me and said, "Would you want to get involved in raising money for this thing called Squonk?" I
Squonk.
said, "What is Squonk?" And then-
What is Squonk?
So I said, "You know what? Again, the challenge. I took the challenge, and next thing you know, with the help, and next thing you know, 6 months later, I'm at the Helen Hayes Theater.
Get out of town.
The only fortunate thing at that particular time, my mother couldn't make it because she got diagnosed with cancer, and
Yeah.
I go, damn,
Well, it happens. So
that happens, you know.
But you were
sure.
able to raise money for a Broadway show called Squonk.
Correct.
That's
Not
pretty-
just raising
pretty
money,
cool.
but trying to
Yeah.
sell something called
And,
Squonk.
and you know, raising. I mean, I have a film that's based on the book, or the book is based on the script called Inwood, because that's where my father and I centralized where he grew up in Inwood, Long Island, the 5 towns. It's so hard to raise money for film. And I'm not to pat myself on the back, but it's been qualified. I mean, I got right now attached to it, a guy who did Scent of a Woman and Departed, G. Mac Brown, producer. I have Scott Potter, who did The Survivor on HBO 2 years ago. He was the producer of that. And we're now, because of the strike, screwed everything up, but now we're just starting to hopefully get this thing momentum because
Right.
it's been qualified. I mean, they go, Mac says, it's an honor to be with this project. Mac did Scent of a Woman, he did The Upside, he did The Departed, and many more. And I'm going, yeah. And it's funny. He saw the book, and he says, "Wow, this is the best thing
I
yet."
was mesmerized as soon as you gave it to me.
Yeah, and that brought us because I said,
That's how we
Matt,
got together.
I said, I have what you want in this book. I have what you, and I have the
amazing.
script. So he got the book. They have it there, and then it was such rave reviews that he gave me. Plus, it helps that it's a 4.5, must I say, on Amazon
Yeah.
for the last 2 years. It actually went up, and in Goodreads, 4.3. This is going on for 2 years now. And Mac always says to me, how come nobody else hasn't called you? You know what?
Wasn't the right time, maybe.
Yeah, but the book is to me is the heart and
Eternally
soul.
Rose, guys. I love it. So what do we have on tape for you? Or what do we have? We're going to show some of your stuff.
Well, we have the promotion for the book,
Okay.
I believe. You want to roll that if you can.
A broken heart. A father's secret. A family's pain. The dramatic true story of lost love, a father's grief, and a son's search for answers to a mystery that haunted a family for over half a century. Read Eternally Rose, a tale of undying love. Now on sale wherever books are sold.
Right. I love the video. It's so dramatic with the music.
Not because my name is on this book, and this is just something that I never expected. But and people say, well, why'd you do it? I says, well, I had the time, COVID, had the time. My business associate and friend Augie Kowitz said, why don't you do the book? And I said, you know what, let's do it. But in here, I said to myself, hopefully, first we take one step at a time. Get the book where I want it to be, okay? And even when I got the manuscript, it took another 7 months to go over it. And I would
That's
say,
what
what are
happens,
we
yeah.
doing today, Lou? I'm reading it over. So 7 months later, till March 1st, I gave it to an editor, professional editor. She took it for a month, and then we released it on my mother's anniversary of her departing.
Wow.
And that would be May 12th. So it'll be 2
Oh, it's
years coming
coming
up, the
up.
anniversary. And we've done also with the book, and the book was something that just, it's the heart and soul of the story. And the reason why I said this, if the public accepts this book, I said, then I'm onto something.
The film, right?
The film. And the
Yeah.
film is, we have the script, it's out there. I have the right people, just now it's a matter of time. Now, as we speak. Actually, matter of fact, I'm waiting for Mac Brown to call me, so give me a call, Mac.
So look at this.
yeah.
So you need a mother, or you need not a mother, or an aunt, or
Are you
something.
casting?
casting.
Now you're a casting agent for
No,
yourself?
you know.
Well, we
I
have
could
our
be an
wish.
aunt.
We have our wish lists and so forth. I mean, right now the thing is getting a director, and it's
You have the script?
Oh, the script was written. The script was written before the book, and it's won IFP awards. The whole night. It's been accepted, but yet,
Everything takes time, but this is
and I'm
unbelievable.
tired of hearing. Well, it's a drama. Well, yes, it's a drama. It's a mystery.
It's true.
It's
That's the
true,
best part.
and it's romance.
Right.
As a matter of fact, The Notebook only had drama and romance. Mine's a mystery, and it's true.
And the Notebook
and that
is-
was a bestseller.
is coming to Broadway.
Right, and Broadway, which that's another thing too. Once we go into production, then I'm going to commission to write the play,
Well, we'll
which
be in
I've
the
started
first
to
row.
do. What's that?
We'll be in the first row when you do that.
I hope so. And I hope
Yes.
you'll
Looking at
mount
it-
to God's ears.
And it being a romance too, it draws from Rocky as well, because there's always that eternal discussion: is Rocky a sports film? Is it a love story?
It's
There's that famous poster of Rocky where he's standing there with Adrian from behind her
Correct.
holding hands, and it looks like a love story poster.
Right.
And it essentially is.
For me, it's a love story.
For me, it is too.
Me
it's a
too.
love story. It's about passion and all
Right.
aspects of the
Yeah.
word definition of passion.
Absolutely.
And
You take that romance out of it. You take the feelings between Mickey and Rocky out of it, and you've got just so much
It's not
less
the
of
same.
it. It's not
and
the
the
same
struggle,
film.
and the struggle.
Right,
It's a metaphor of life.
Yeah.
And
Let's show another
it's not
slide.
been easy.
Oh, there it is. Look at this. Look
That's
at that.
my father and
Oh.
Rose DiFabrizio. And I, as she walked down the aisle, Ave Maria, here comes the bride on
Yeah.
the day of the wedding. And she turns around to take my father's hand, and she collapses. And that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
as-
well, you got
as
to
I-
read the book,
as I
find
had-
out the story, right?
What's that?
Got to read the book.
Got to
find out
read.
the
Well, I got to
story.
tell you just quickly. Years ago, I'm walking down 56th Street in Manhattan towards the East Side. And there's traffic, and I see a BMW. And who's sitting in the back seat is Martin Scorsese and Barbara DeFina. It's a true story. And I said, "Son of a bitch."
I wish I had the book.
I'm going to go. I said, "Excuse me, Marty. Give me 2 minutes." He goes, "I don't believe it." "Yeah, I'm going to pitch you. Listen, I'm a friend of so and so." But I said, we actually met on the set of Goodfellas, but I wasn't in it. I was in Atlantic Beach. He says, tell me quick. I gave him the elevator. He says, "Do me a favor. Can you come up to my office? It's Capra Studio Productions on the second floor, 445 Park Avenue. What time you want me to be there?" 4:45. I was up there. I wait. I go in. I tell him to pitch what I said. I'm walking down the aisle, blah blah blah, and I what I do at that point, this is the original Life magazine where the story hit.
Wow.
Okay, this is the original Life magazine, and I opened it up.
Oh my
And
goodness.
this is the story of my father, what happened on that tragic day, October 6, 1946. And I break it down. He looks at it. He goes, Lou, who is this? I said, what's the name? I said, he goes, Mastantuono. He said, what's your name? I said, Mastantuono. He said, well, who's that? Not you. I said, Marty, come on. He said, it's my father. He goes, Maron. He goes, Barbara, come here. Comes looking at it. He goes, Maron, what happened? I said, Marty, you got to read the script. I told him that. He said, really? You got to read the script. I got you hooked, right? Didn't happen. Because he already had 5 and I'll be honest with you, the script is not as good as the one that's called Inwood now. I got a different writer, Scott Potter, who was one of the producers with me and writer, and it was Glenn Rousseau, his partner, and we all sat down, took a process of a year, and next thing you know, getting calls from LA, blah, 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 but still,
Right.
you know the story. But this is the original Life magazine issue.
Unbelievable.
And of course, just to give you a little more interest here, Daily News.
Bride falls dead in aisle going down the altar.
Going down the altar.
That's the headline.
And as you can see, this is what's also the picture in Life magazine. This is 2 minutes before she collapsed.
And there's a story behind
And there's a
all
story
this.
behind it. And
We gotta
I'll
read-
give you a little bit.
Gotta read
She
the
was
book.
turning. Thank you. She was turning blue in her lips before she got there. So it's
That's enough, yeah.
yeah. So you have to read the book. It's a great
Guys,
read. Not because my
Eternally
name's on
Rose, you gotta get it.
it. Yeah.
Jerry, what's
I
happening
wanna
with
read this
you?
book.
Me too. I want to be in it.
Forget about me. I
Exciting.
want to hear about I want to hear what John's got going on.
Okay.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, nice little hook into, segue into my little
Absolutely.
story here. So, I wrote, directed, produced a 3-part documentary series for Amazon Prime called Fight Story.
Congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
I was at your last
You
screening.
were there. It was amazing.
I'll be at
to
the
have
next
you there.
one.
You're the best.
Thank you.
So, long story short, my series highlights 5 stories per episode, and each story is about struggle and overcoming some sort of struggle. We have cancer survivors. I have an autistic little boy. Any type of struggle you could think of, we kind of have it in our show and in our documentary. And it all centers around Rocky and Sylvester Stallone and the inspiration that people drew from those incredible films back in the day, and it still lives on to this very day. And when those films came out, it was electric. And I know for me personally, I call it a spiritual awakening when I saw it for the first time. For my own personal story, real quick, I grew up learning disabled. I couldn't read, I couldn't write. And my parents kind of really didn't know what to do with me. They didn't know which direction I was going to go. And they literally sat me down one day and said, "We have a movie you need to see." And I said, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." And I'm sitting there, my dad on my right, my mom on my left, and they put on the very first Rocky. And let me tell you, it just like flipping a switch, I felt alive inside. And ever since that day, the fire from those movies just burned so deep for me, for inspiration and really wanting to help others. So, skip ahead a little bit. My dad winds up getting sick with cancer about 9 years ago, and it's 48 hours before his passing, and he calls me into his room and he says, this is our last conversation we ever had. He says, "John, you have to do me a favor." And I said, "Absolutely, Dad. What is it? What could I do for you?" He said, "You have to run the Rocky steps for me." Something we never did together. And we always planned to do it. We just never had the opportunity, unfortunately. And he wound up passing away 48 hours after him asking to do that for him. A year after that, I lost my mom. My mom and my dad passed. My mom and my dad were everything to me. My dad was my hero. My mom was my heart and soul. And losing them was devastating for me. I mean, it absolutely devastated me. Now I'm a father, I'm a husband, I have 2 daughters of my own, and I'm sinking. I now have the 2 most influential people I ever knew erased from my life, unfortunately, in a very short period of time. So I go into probably a little bit of a depression. I'm struggling, not really sure which way I'm going to go with this. And then it hits me one day, out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. I say, holy crap, I never fulfilled that dream for my dad to go run the steps for him. So I get up that day, boom, I know what I have to do. I tell my wife, I'm going to Philly. I got to leave you and the kids. I'm going to take a drive to Philly by myself. She looked at me like I was nuts, but I did it anyway. Take the drive. I get there at about 8, 9, 10 o'clock-ish, around there. My memory's a little hazy. A lot of emotions running through here. And I run the steps. Very emotional journey. I get to the top, and now I'm just sitting out looking at the city of Philadelphia. And literally, in that moment, I'm hit with the idea to write Fight Story. People that have gone through difficult situations, but have made it through because of their inspiration from Sly and the Rocky films. And that was literally the birth of Fight Story.
Right.
So now we filmed all 3 episodes, all 3 films. The first 2 are up on Amazon Prime, Fight Story 1, Fight Story 2. We're going to do a big premiere night coming up again this summer for Fight Story 3. I'm not sure. I think Bobby may have the flyer for that. If we could show that, that would be awesome.
Let's see the flyer. I didn't know
So we have the movie
one.
poster for Fight Story 3. There
Oh,
it is.
that's some flyer.
That's it.
Wow.
And it's been an incredible journey. As an independent filmmaker, I have funded this entire project out of my own pocket. And for me personally, the best part of this whole process is that everything that we every profit that we make from Fight Story gets donated towards children with autism and special needs. So I do not keep
Fabulous.
any of the money that's made for Fight Story. Everything is donated.
So that's a passion
That's
you have.
beautiful.
It's a true passion. And for me, the best part of the whole process has been writing a check and mailing it to Autism Speaks. And that's
Wow.
where all the money
And
goes.
they've been putting, this is the month of autism,
Really.
isn't it?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're having all these things going on this week on Long Island, all for autism.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a new company out there that is just providing work for a lot of kids. And they were all on TV the other night.
They need our
It's
help.
just
They're
really,
they're
really
wonderful
wonderful.
children, and they need our help. And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many have you made? How many have you completed?
2 are up and running on Amazon, and the 3rd one we're finishing now. We're in the post-production phase, and we're going to have a premiere in probably August.
And you've written more, or
We're going to stop it at 3.
You're going to
Is
stop
that
at
it?
Yeah, I'm
three?
going to
It's
stop
the
it at
final?
3.
Be a
This is the
trilogy.
final one, yeah.
Trilogy.
Yeah.
That is unreal. And then now you met
Unless they come calling saying we want
Right,
more,
well,
because
all of a
this-
sudden the
it's
pen
a-
starts moving again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
Have you contacted or showed that to the school on the North Shore? I forgot what it used to be called. It changed the name. It's for autistic.
The Henry Viscardi School?
Fiscardi.
I have not reached
Why
out to
not?
them.
That might
I
be an
haven't.
inspiration to show that.
You're right. I should do something like
Do you
that.
know I worked there?
Did you really?
Yeah, for 2 years. They didn't like
No
me.
kidding. Oh, I'm sorry. to
No,
hear that.
because I had a line at my door. I had a line at my door. All the kids came to me because
they liked you.
I was cool. And I wasn't old as as old as the others. Then I'm older now, and I used to help them with their resumes and get interviews.
See that?
So I worked there for 2 years.
Aw.
Yeah, it was I was beautiful. I loved it there.
Yeah.
But then
What was the name before that?
it,
Fiscardi.
it's in Roslyn. Yeah, I don't know
yeah,
what it
I
was
thought
called
there was a
before.
name before. Yeah.
But I liked it. It just didn't work out
Yeah.
because I was too popular. They got annoyed, the women.
Yeah.
This happens. Men don't care what women do when But it's funny that you didn't
Yeah.
go there. That you should. They'll probably pay you to show it.
I would love that. That would
Yeah.
be great. My whole series, truthfully, is a visual love letter a visual thank you letter to Sly, Sylvester Stallone, for everything he's done for all of us. The inspiration he's given us it's unbelievable.
Does he know about this at all? Anybody in this?
I
camp?
have tried so hard to
Well-
get to him, and
Well, I think that's somebody-
I hope I have the privilege and the opportunity this time. God, I mean that.
sure.
If I could tell them about it and
Wow.
Again, there's,
I know it's hard.
You know,
it's
we-
hard. I've been in his presence numerous times, and it's very difficult.
We come
to have a
from nothing,
conversation.
and we think that someone like Sly or Chaz,
Yeah, they
they've
would love
come
it.
from nothing. We
Sure.
kind of hope that they'll remember that and
Mm-hmm.
reach out, but then you think they must get bombarded. I mean, we're three
They
guys
do, of
sitting
course.
here.
Yeah.
There
Yes.
must be,
But
Which
there's
I
always that
understand.
moment.
right.
Yeah.
See, I believe that too. Do we have a clip of?
I believe we have a clip.
Yeah, we have a
short
clip. Let's
visual
see it.
clip.
A short one. Always believe.
Great.
Always believe. That's my famous phrase.
Now let me ask you about that soundtrack. Where did that music?
So we dubbed that from one of
Rocky
the
IV.
Rocky films.
It's
Yes,
from the
yes,
actual Rocky
absolutely.
movie.
That was the
Yeah.
Russian.
Okay, I thought it
Yeah.
sounded like
yeah, I
it.
know.
Yeah.
Did it sound familiar?
Yes, but I wasn't sure if you. If it was a,
1985, Rocky IV.
That's right.
okay.
Actually, it was an hour and 90 minutes. I mean, it was an hour and a half movie. I said, "What? That's it?"
Yeah. It was literally like a workout
Amazing.
montage. that
Yeah,
movie.
that's all it
Great
was.
show.
That's so funny.
What do
But-
you think of all this?
Well, it's funny because it'll kind of now I can say a little bit about the Fontanas and my journey because it's so similar.
Yeah.
You have to go back and watch this movie every now and then. You just every once in a while, especially when you're a little down,
Absolutely.
you put in Rocky, and it picks you up. It inspires you. That music hits, and I know when I work out, it's always the Rocky soundtrack. I have it on my iPod. It's right next to all my gym equipment. And when I was doing the Fontanas, like, you talk about your dad and you talk about your dad. And my dad passed when he was 69 in 1997. And
sorry.
Thanks. It definitely changed my life. And the tagline on the movie poster is "Death changes everything." And how Rocky and my father influenced the Fontanas. And I think as a writer, you sit down and when you learn to just write from within, write where you've come from and what affects
heart,
you.
right?
That's when your writing really takes off. And
Sure.
when I was young and I wanted to write, I always thought I had to create something from like magic. And once you learn to go inside, even when I did my film The Mark, which is about a hitman
It is a great
who gets
movie.
hired to hit himself, but it's really at its core, it's about a guy who didn't fulfill his dreams. His life didn't go where it was supposed to. Even that was influenced by Rocky. So I know inside, how many times do you hear from filmmakers, this is going to be my Rocky?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's an
course.
expression that just
Absolutely.
exists.
Yeah, that's very
so
true, yeah.
countless people have been influenced by Stallone, and you both have amazing stories. That,
Yeah, yes, we have, I guess. Can I just say one thing?
Sure,
Just a
sure.
preface or prelude or an epilogue in regard to my book. It was really also dedicated to my mother. And getting back to, not to Hollywoodize my last moments with my mother. Like I said, she was dying of cancer at South Nassau. And that night I had a meeting with Tony Masanti, who since then passed. But this is on the original script. And he wanted to play my father in the script.
Mhm.
And my mother said to me, "Look, I might not be here tomorrow." She says, "Do me a favor." I said, "What, Ma?" She says, "Get it done."
Oh. And you're getting it done.
That was my win. That was the catapulted me, the drive. Those were the last words of my mother. Get it done. I kissed her on the lips. Next morning I get the call 5 o'clock. She passed.
Oh,
So that,
wow.
right what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
for
that's
sure.
true. And that's, and that's what he's doing now. And I'm his mother.
And to continue with that line, I know you both lost mom and dad. I
Yeah.
thankfully still have my mom. She's 92.
Very lucky.
She's
bless, that's
a
amazing.
she's a pit bull.
She is, and she's she's losing it mentally. But every single time I go to see her, she asks about my music and my films.
See that?
She'll forget everything, but she remembers that. She's as passionate inside, and that has always inspired me.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing what stays in the memory. She'll
Exactly.
be like, "You going to California? Are you going?" And it's like she doesn't
Been
remember
there, done that.
anything, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's still.
Right?
But she's a great lady. I
Yep.
had to go
And
meet
you-
with her and be her, and I'm being told that I'm doing a pretty good job.
Well, yeah, that character is definitely based
Yeah.
on that. I mean, it's the Italian mom, but I draw a lot from my own mother,
course.
and she personifies it extremely.
That's the
well.
cool.
And I love having him as a son
Exactly.
because he's the good son
Yeah.
in the Fontanas. Out of all the sons, he's the good son. You know?
Well, and I have to give another little shameless plug here because I'd love to see both of your projects at, the New York Long Island
yes,
Film
you guys
Festival.
should get
So
it
that comes up in October,
Coming up, you can
and
we should.
yeah, we definitely would love to show it. And
I hope that we, for my situation, I just want to get things in place. If we
Right.
start this time filming next year, I mean, I could say we got to get this done this year.
yeah,
It's just such a, and I know, and you know what you have.
Yes.
And now I could say with the book, listen, Australia, Scotland, New Zealand, South Africa. I mean, it's just beyond.
right.
And it's over 500 reviews.
That's fabulous.
And
Congratulations.
And then it's just, at least to say, hey, the book is out there. It's with the public.
it is.
It's with the public. And listen, read here. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's my pitch.
Hmm.
If
And
there's any
and you're
rebuttal
a-
or any
yes.
balking, I mean, come on.
Definitely. So they just go to Amazon and order Eternally
Eternally
Rose.
Rose or eternallyrosebook.com. They can
Okay.
also go and you get the whole Megillah, so to speak.
Right.
And it's a great read. Not because my name's on it, but it's a great read.
It's a great story.
Read the reviews. All I can say is read the reviews, and you'll know for yourself.
And what do they do to look at your stuff?
Same thing, Amazon Prime, and so many people have reached out and asked me, how could I get involved? How could I help? Because they know it's going for a good cause. And the simplest answer is just rent Fight Story on Amazon. All of the profits go toward children with autism and special needs.
That is great.
And that's the goal.
Amazon.
Amazon. So are we
We have
going
a
to
love-hate relationship.
Are we gonna
with
see a
Amazon.
clip?
I know.
Are we going to see something in action on the
Yeah,
Fontanas?
we do have a clip of the Fontanas. Yeah, it's like a season montage.
Look at there I
There's our
am on the
poster.
left. I look pretty bad then. Though.
That's a nice
I'm in
shot.
a
You
very
look
bad
a little
mood.
upset.
Yeah,
You-
I'm angry at one of my sons, I think. Jerry, I love it. This is the
looks
first
great.
time I'm seeing
You've
that.
never seen that?
No, I want you to send it to me on my phone.
Okay.
because
Yeah.
I can't use that WeTransfer.
That's a montage of basically all 7 episodes. I mean, it's a story about family. It's a little, to me, it's like Parenthood meets a little bit of Soap. Remember that TV show Soap?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there's a little Sopranos in there. It's not
nice.
it's not a true mob. I didn't want to make a mob story. It's more about family. It's more about real life relationships.
Sure.
I think that there's a lack of that. You ever go looking through? We got all these streaming channels, Amazon, Hulu,
Right.
and you're looking for something to watch that I don't want to say is a little bit more wholesome, but not so violent or upsetting. Or it doesn't. I don't think everything has to be so epic.
Right.
It should just be fun. And I think that's what we're striving for. That there's serious moments that and then there's moments where you want to cry a little bit, and then you're laughing in the next breath, and it's like I want to keep it like that roller coaster ride,
sure.
like life.
Yeah.
I always said, and you guys know, I would go to a funeral of an aunt or an uncle, Italian wake. You're standing there next to the coffin, and what are you doing? You're laughing.
Right.
You're telling stories about the person, and you're feeling uncomfortable because you're standing next to a casket laughing, but then you're thinking that's what this person would want, and that's life, especially in an Italian world.
Definitely. The Italians
Absolutely.
are,
Yeah, so
Touchy-feely.
the best is when people come from all walks and say how much they relate to what they've seen when
Right.
they see it. So every family seems to be able to relate to it, and that's we're proud of it.
and we're now a charity, 501c3.
Well, that's what the film festival. Yep.
Yes, so the
Yeah,
film festival.
we're looking to do big things with that. We're going to have a great year with that this year. We're expanding. We're now up to 5 days with the film festival.
Yeah, that, you
Very
guys, you
nice.
have to
It's
come.
our sixth
I would
year.
love
Yeah,
to.
you
It's
guys
a
gotta come
great-
to be our guests.
It's a
and
great
Where's it
time.
gonna be?
Great
It's in
time.
October 16th through the 20th
Where?
in Lindenhurst.
Oh, Lyndhurst.
Takes
okay.
over the
Yeah.
whole town.
Yeah, it's really
great.
growing
It's
big.
the most fun thing. I mean, that's how I met Jerry, by volunteering,
Yep.
and
you've
then
been
he
great.
was kind enough to teach me. And with the the new charity, I mean, he's probably going to be teaching other people.
We
like
are.
me.
We're going this Monday.
Yeah.
We're going to the Sewanaka High School. We're
Oh,
going to
you
be
are?
working with the students over there,
I didn't know
and
that.
looking to do more with the schools and students, and having
That's
workshops for them. And
That's really
great.
nice.
really, yeah, as I had.
Are they receptive?
Huh?
They seem to be receptive.
Very, yes,
that's good.
and the students, young people, it's a whole different world. Like we think movies, they think shorter,
Yes.
and
Little clips,
it's
whatever.
hard. Like you look at a movie like Rocky. Think about the beginning of that movie, where he's talking to the young girl and giving her life lessons and
Right.
walking and
Yep.
walking. And I always watch that, and it's so intriguing to sit and watch that and listen to that discussion. But so many movies today, they don't share that ability to slow down. Everything's got to be so
Fast
quick.
pace, right?
Yes.
When Mickey and Rocky are fighting and he walks down the stairs and
Oh,
walks
it's a
down
great
the
scene.
street, that scene to me is one of the best scenes
It's
in
such a good
movie
scene.
history. And he runs down the stairs, he runs over to him, the camera's wide,
Right.
there's no dialogue,
Nothing.
but it's so powerful.
Such emotion.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Definitely.
I think that, I don't know if they've lost the ability to do that or if they just pushed it aside and said it's not what audiences want today.
That's
I
a
think it's the
discussion for
latter.
another series.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's disheartening in a way.
Yes.
Yes.
We didn't. Yeah, it's like they have to be force fed. No, use imagination.
Right.
And so who do you blame? Do you blame the system? Do you blame education? But again, that's a story for another.
But
Yes,
it's up to people
absolutely,
like
right.
us to pull it back. There's
Correct.
enough independent people
Well, the
and it's
storytellers.
growing.
Yep.
And there is sort of a rejection going on
Yeah.
to the, all these fast-paced movies, like Scorsese says, there are theme parks. There's a rejection that's starting to happen.
Right.
And I think people are pulling back and want to see more.
Do you know
of
the
this.
cause of that?
Oh, yeah.
Right here,
Yep.
the downfall. I've
Yeah.
been saying this, right, Fred?
Cell
I'm
phone.
telling you.
Yeah.
It's the downfall of society, and
Yeah.
I say it, but you know what?
And you know how you know it's true? Because young people are starting to admit it.
Oh, 100%.
I hope
It's
so.
not just a bunch of older
100%
people
agree.
going, they're starting to see it.
And unfortunately, that's not going anywhere.
I know. Anyway,
Well, I think
Topic of another
You know,
show.
right.
We can do a whole show on
I
that.
know we're going on
this
that
is
one
a
now.
great topic today. You guys are all somehow connected.
Yes.
And it makes me feel great because, he came to the studio to meet me. He walked in 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But we
I
met
did.
on Facebook. But
Yeah.
as much as people say Facebook is not, Facebook
No,
is
it's-
good.
Yeah.
That's how I met him on Facebook.
There's good and bad with all of this.
Yeah, and
yes,
he didn't,
like
and he
with
didn't
other
offer me
things.
any figs. Like I met the other guy, that I just had on. I met him because he had figs in his yard, and he put it on Facebook because you know anybody want any, and I went.
I'll take a fig.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, he just opened a deli, and he's making a movie also about Genovese.
Yeah.
So it's weird how karma makes things happen,
Absolutely.
and I can't
Yeah.
tell you enough.
Life.
You guys have to check out the Fontanas. It's
For sure.
unbelievable. How do they watch our clips? By going where?
We're all over YouTube. There's
Yeah.
you can look up the font.
Oh, so you're
type
already
in
up?
my name, Jerry
Yeah.
Ferrer. The episodes aren't up.
Okay.
The
I've
clips.
resisted putting them on Amazon because I don't want to. I don't know where I'm going with it.
Right.
I'm trying to find
Yeah.
backers for season 2, and so I'm holding off.
Sure.
But yeah, we're close. Season 1 is done.
Yeah,
so,
and it was so much fun.
yep.
That year went so fast, and now we're going to be starting again in May, right?
And I'm very honored that people think I can write season 2 like this. They're like, when are we filming? When are we filming?
Well,
I'm like,
everybody's waiting to come back.
I did finish
Yeah.
episode 1 for season 2, so we're
Yes.
ready to go with that. I'm hoping that at the end of May we'll be filming.
Is streaming the route you want to go?
Not
Not
really.
sure, yeah.
Okay. You want more of a theatrical release?
No, I want it to be a series, but I'm saying streaming. I don't want to put it myself.
Okay.
I want someone to back it
Right.
and then put it up.
That was the hardest thing for me, was finding a film distributor.
Yes,
It was
So
not easy.
That's the hardest part.
it's right. So
And who's in it? Name.
right. And I want them to back season 2. I do
Yeah.
have some people lined up that if I can get the funding I'm looking for, I can bring them in.
Sure.
And it will definitely help. There's another reason I haven't filmed yet, is I
Right.
am talking to 3 or 4 people.
Yes, and,
And
we're
it's
excited
very
about that.
it's very exciting. I can't mention who it is, but
Right.
It's good.
we're hoping,
Yeah, it's
and
good.
And if not, you just keep plugging away. You keep moving forward. And,
That's right.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
I mean, any way you slice it, every day's a gift.
Right.
I say use the pointy end of your boot to women to do what you need to do. Because sometimes life's all about give and take, but sometimes you have to protect yourself. And if you're willing to use the pointy end of your boot, but do it in a nice way, things
Right.
happen.
Yeah.
That's my word of the day. And
And let's not forget about we love the Rocky movie and all, but let's not forget Sly's story in and of itself,
Incredible.
which is very similar to Chaz's, Chaz Palminteri, how they both had nothing. But Sly talks about having to sell his dog. He talks about having no money, and he talks about turning down offers for Rocky.
He was
the-
basically homeless.
homeless, and he what was it? I think $325,000.
Correct.
And then he took what 25,000 to be in it. I don't know that. Like, how many of us would have that if we were homeless?
yeah, really.
And somebody
that
said to us
guts.
right now in equivalent dollars, "Here's $2 million
In
for your
1970,
story."
whatever.
Right, and you said, "No, I got to be in it."
Yeah.
Like, the guy had some.
He knew. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew it was magic.
Guys like myself have been around the block and still, you say that if I was, someone said to me, prominent guy said to me in the business, we talked about the script, he read the script, and he said, do you ever think about doing, right up before the discussion for 2 hours, he says, do you ever think about doing a play? And I said to him, well, I says, if I was 29 years old, going down that route, I would do it, but I'm not. And so I says, but if things work out with the film, I can decide to do a one-man show,
Right.
Right.
what
Which
he
is
did,
a great idea.
or I
yeah.
can do a musical
Which is
because of
another
the
great
time
idea.
period, because it's past and present, and the 40s was during that era, great music. So I have that in mind, but at that time I said, I'm not 29 years, 30
No, well,
years
that's a
old.
lot of us. I mean,
So I wish I had that luxury to wait. Well, if God lets me live to 110, well, okay. But,
Yeah.
Right.
but it is
you
true
gotta
because
jump on
You got it. Yeah.
one of the things I believe in is, when you write a book, it changes your life. I did it twice. You guys know. You have 2 copies of it, so you read it. And both of those books could be a film. But again, it's work. And I'm not so young. I'm probably the oldest person at the table right now. So But I'm thrilled with all you handsome men here today. It's great.
Is this your favorite thing? To
Yeah,
be
it is.
surrounded by
Well, I love the song "It's Raining Men," so you know.
Written by
I-
Paul Jabbar.
Yeah, but I
Want me
give
to do
him.
a rendition of that? It's raining men.
Whoa.
Hallelujah.
It's
It's raining men.
I'm not singing that song.
No, you don't want to sing that one?
I'm not going to sing that one. The Mutant Kings don't do
Well,
It's Raining Men.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that. I
Yeah.
have one more piece of advice. The Mutant Kings, they're fabulous. Where are you playing next?
Everywhere. We're going to be at Gachadoro in Lindenhurst on the 26th of this month.
It's a great time,
and then
guys.
our schedule picks up. If you go to themutinkings.com, you'll see our whole schedule. We're
playing
booked
everywhere.
into November
And-
already. So
We have a
Yeah.
blast when we go there. He has all these outfits,
Do the band? Or
and
is it-
and
a
then
full band, yeah.
he does Elvis.
And then we
That's
do
unusual.
we do
That's
these full Elvis shows. So
Yeah,
you
he
can
does
go.
Elvis. He does.
Yeah, we do like 3 or 4 of those a year, full concerts, and
So I gave you guys a little something to take home. You got your
Oh,
little
thank
gift
you.
over
Right,
there.
right.
And my advice is, I got advice from a polar bear the other day. Would you believe that? No, not really. Somebody that I call my polar bear. You know,
Okay.
I have a lot of mentors. Live large, sniff out opportunities, learn some good icebreakers no matter what you're doing. Be thick-skinned. Be fearless, which I am fearless, right? I do take chances. Appreciate your long winter nights and keep it cool.
Very
What do you
nice.
think, guys?
Very good.
Very nice.
That was from a mentor. And I have a lot of mentors because I've struggled myself to get, I'm still not where I want, but I'm where I want to be.
And I
and,
think to
you
everybody
know.
out there should also take from all 4 of us just how nobody here has given up. I know your
No.
story. You've never given up. You went through so much, you know, getting down, depressed, coming out of it, which and then making all of this inspiration. You never gave up from the first time you saw this movie and where you've come with this and fulfilling dreams. There's a great message here that it's never too late,
That's right.
Never.
It's
and
true.
never give up.
That's very true. And if you would have told me 40 years ago that I'd be doing this, I'd never have believed it. But losing my job twice, 2 careers, that's all I had because I never quit. I don't leave places. Made me bigger, stronger, and larger than life.
See that?
And then losing my husband added to it and my home. But guess what? There's life after death. And everybody out there, you need anything, contact the Breakfast Club. We do it all. Somebody told me today you should call it marketing and much, much more. I liked it. What do you think?
Sounds
Something
pretty
new,
good.
you know,
Yeah.
but we were brainstorming with one of my other singers, Jim Altamori.
Okay.
He's a Sinatra singer too.
Oh, nice.
And anyway, that is going to be a wrap, and that was a great show. You want to say anything, Leslie? Last thing you want to say?
Go watch Fight Story, Amazon
Yep.
Prime.
Great. How about you, sir?
Get it. Read
Oh,
it. Love
you're
it.
going to have a lot
Eternity
of people on
Rose.
this. Yes. And
you.
the king here.
Yeah.
Well,
Make sure you watch and check out these guys' products. That's what I'm going to say.
Yes.
I know you know about me and the Fontanas.
and
all that.
everybody,
Thank you.
watch,
Very sweet.
like, and share. And I can't share yet because my computer went down, and I have someone coming later on after we have our date to fix it. So I don't know why some things happen to my computer always on the worst day of the week,
course.
Thursday, when I do the show. But it'll get done. It just might not get done tonight.
That's okay.
But you'll get it, and it's out there already at 7:00. You could watch it.
Can't wait.
And I love the story today. It was great.
Yep.
Very natural.
Thank
It just all came easy. And
and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Anytime, yeah.
Thank you for your time.
tell people about us, 'cause this is so different.
Absolutely.
It's live networking. Look what happened in 1 hour. I mean, between the 3 of you, something's going to happen. I know it. Well, that's me.
It's happening.
That's it. That's a wrap, guys. And I really want to thank
Great
you
show.
again.
Thank you.
What about you?
I think it was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was great meeting both of you. Really.
Same.
Yeah,
Likewise.
in case anybody wants to know, we're going
I wanna
over
read
to
that. I wanna
the
have
Me
it.
and You restaurant, 6:00. It's
Wait,
for
I would
Equal First
pick it up
Aid. Have you
somewhere.
heard of that?
I have not.
Equal First Aid is all about this
you get the
gentleman that
time,
made
I
this
mean-
piece of
No, I'm definitely
equipment
going to read this.
that saves people when they go choke.
Oh,
So we're going, that's our date tonight. We're going over to Me and You restaurant in Bethpage, 326 Broadway.
What time is that?
It starts at 6. We're going to be a little
Okay.
late.
All right.
But
Fashionably late.
that's it.
All right. It's a wrap.
That's
now,
a wrap,
where are
guys.
you from?
Rising Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of Java or espresso. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Tina Valentina is the host, you see. She's as classy as she can be. The co-host Greg has a lot to say. Well, he wouldn't have it any other way. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. I say rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Another cup of Java or espresso. Another cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show.